Hi, how are you? Welcome to Module 3, and let's talk about the power of the subconscious mind. As you know, in Module 1 and Module 2, we have talked about law of attraction in general. We've talked about the power of, the words, thoughts, and feelings, and how our body is affected, and how we've been programmed. And basically, this programming is done via the subconscious mind. We basically have got two sets of mind. Okay, we've got the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Of course, we also talk about the superconscious mind, and the superconscious mind is the one that allows us to connect with the universe or God, if you want to say God, in order to attract what we want. I'll talk to you a little bit more about it later, but what you need to understand is this, yeah? A lot of us have programmed ourselves to be negative or positive, which I spoke about in Module 2. And how did this happen? And why is it the programming so strong? And just let's do an exercise so you would understand better about how this works, yeah? I want to ask a question. How many of you are stupid when it comes to mathematics? When it comes to maths, arithmetic or maths, that you're basically stupid. That means you just cannot do it. You'll always fail, or you just don't do well in it. And if you are one of them, yeah, you can put up your hands and you know that you're one of them, right? But I'm going to tell you why that happens, because it's ridiculous. Yeah, it is not DNA. Because I come from an Asian country, and a lot of people say, oh, for example, if a young man or young lady does very well in their school, people will always ask about what do your parents do, and the person says, oh, my dad is an accountant, and my mom is a doctor, and then everybody goes, oh my God, no wonder you're so clever, because you have your mom's DNA and your dad's DNA. So it's a very standard thing, that if the parents are laborers, or they are poor earners, and if somebody is not doing too well in the studies, they will say, oh yeah, because you've got a mom and dad's DNA, which is totally not true, because my parents were laborers, and I lived in poverty for many, many years. But I've made my money. I have an accounting degree. I have an MBA. So obviously, it cannot be that I have my parents' DNA. So that's why when I did my research on law of attraction and how it works, I realized it's all about programming and how you program yourself, right? So now, for those of you who have put up your hands and said that you have indicated that you are stupid, I want to move further and explain a few things to you. First of all, how can that be? Because you need to understand that all of us, all human beings, our brain is about 1.3 kg to 1.5 kg, which is about, say, 3 pounds. Okay, it's the same. Okay, all of us use about maybe 2 to 3% of our brain. Some say 5. I don't know. They say Einstein used only 5% of his brain, and he's a genius. Yeah, so uh, generally accepted, it's about 2% of our brain. Okay, and we all have, according to different researchers, but we were told that we have got 86 billion neurons. The neurons is like megabytes, right? The capacity of the brain, right? So if you look at two people, and you say one person is stupid in math, one person is clever in maths, both of them have got a brain size which is about 1.3 to 1.5 kg. Both of them use about 2 to 3% of the brain, and both of them have got 86 billion neurons. Now, if that's the case, why is it one is clever, one is stupid? Now, when you say 2% of the brains is what we use, and some people say, are you sure? Yeah, I'm very sure. For example, if you the first time you try to drive a car, it probably stalled because you didn't know how to handle a car. But today, you can drive your car and speak on a phone, and one hand in a steering wheel, and you reach your destination. If you ever used chopstick to eat noodles like the Chinese, first time you tried a chopstick, it was difficult. But now you can just use a chopstick because you have learned it. When you went to school and you started to learn or talk or read or any languages, or you played an all instrument, everything took time to learn. But the moment you've learned it, you don't use the brain anymore because it's already programmed. In fact, if you commute to work, in and out of your workplace, home and work, the first time you're going to work, you used to think about the route you have to take, left, right, and, stop at this traffic lights and whatever. But now you can actually go to work while speaking on the phone, and you would have stopped at all the traffic lights and you reach your workplace, or vice versa. Again, why? Because you've been programmed. So our brain is programmed to do many, many things. That's why we use only about 2% of the brain, because most of the things that we already do are programmed. When you're young, when you're walking, you see a drain or you see something where you need to cross over, you have to think about how do you jump over, how do you cross over, and you got to, think, whether you can do it or not. But now, when you come across a place where you just cross over, because you don't have to think about it, because it's already programmed, So what I'm trying to tell you is that, that's why we use the less of the brain. But how did this part about stupid comes in? Yeah, how? Well, let me tell you how the programming has been done. Yeah. You see, normally when you are young, okay, when you are maybe, I don't know whether you're primary 2, primary 3, or we call it standard 2 or standard 3, or when you're maybe about 10 years old, 8, 9 years old, whichever school you come from, we do have, especially in Asian countries, we have something called a timetable. For example, the teacher will ask you and say, tell me your timetable, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and 6 times 2 is 12, and 9 times 2 is 18, and so on and so forth. And a lot of time in the Asian schools, that is how they figure out whether somebody is clever or stupid in maths. Because if you can tell the timetable and memorize it and tell, you're considered clever. So a person who can actually memorize a timetable and tell is considered clever. A person who cannot memorize is known as stupid. So chances are, what happened was, when you were in standard 2, maybe you're 8, 9 years old, your teacher asked you and said, let's say, your name is James, and said, James, have you studied a timetable? And you say yes, and the teacher says, okay, 6 times 2. But the answer is 12. But then you say 62, and the teacher says, oh my God, you're so stupid. Now, the moment she says the word stupid, what happens is the word comes to you. Now you've got what you call conscious brain and subconscious brain. Conscious brain is the one that you consciously can reject. You consciously make decision. So chances are you would have like, no, I'm not stupid. But then again, when the teacher asked the rest of the students in your class, everybody answers. And you thought, oh, okay, maybe I am stupid. How come I didn't know the answer? So it goes into your subconscious brain, which is 24 hours awake. It's your CPU, it's your hard disk. So it's programmed there. So what happened is, now you think, oh, I might be stupid in maths. So the teacher says, you better go and study, because I'm going to ask you again tomorrow. But when you're 8, 9 years old, you don't study. So you go to school, to go home, you did not study. You just fold around, and you go back to school again. The teacher asks, did you study? And of course you say, yes, teacher. And the teacher says, okay, 7 times 2. And you say, 7 times 2, 9, teacher. And she says, stupid. And then teacher says, okay, I want you to stand on the chair, or I want you to stand in the corner. When you go to a corner to stand, because you didn't answer, everybody laughs. Your friend laughs at you. Everybody laughs at you, and everybody says, "Oh, James is stupid. James is stupid." Now, what happens is the programming comes to you, and it goes into your brain, and you say, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" Everybody says you're stupid. So it becomes a programming. Then your teacher says, "You know what? I'm going to let you off. I want you to practice it, because I'm going to ask you again tomorrow. If you don't, then I'm going to send you to the principal's office." Now you're very scared. So what you do, you say, oh my God, I don't want to see the principal. So you go back and you practice. So you actually practice, timetable 2, 1 times 2, and 7 times 2, and 9 times 2, and so on and so forth, And your dad happens to see you doing something, and your dad calls you and says, what do you do? And your dad, because you're so scared, and you tell your dad the truth, and you're doing timetable, and your dad says, okay, let me ask you now. And what your dad does is, he asks you what timetable. You say 2, and the dad says, okay. 2 times 9, and you say, oh my God, I didn't study the 9 timetable, I studied the 2 timetable. Because you see, when you're young, you don't know, when somebody says 2 times 9, you think it's a 9 timetable, and 9 times 2 is 2 timetable. And you got confused. But in any case, dad says 2 times 9, and you said, 29, father, and your father says, stupid, in capital letters. You know what I mean by capital letters? See, your father is an influential figure. Your father is someone you believe a lot. Your father is someone you trust a lot. And your father says, You are so stupid in maths. And in an Asian environment, the father just does not stop there. The father says, why are you so stupid compared to your brothers and sisters? They're all clever, but you're so stupid. Or the father says, how come you're so stupid compared to your cousins? Again, whenever he says, why are you so stupid, it becomes a programming. It goes into your subconscious brain and it gets programmed. Finally, your dad says this and you say, you know what? I know why you're stupid in maths. You're stupid in maths because your mom is stupid in maths. And you go, oh my God, no wonder I'm stupid in maths because I've got my mother's DNA. That's it. We call it, that's it. Because now you have programmed yourself that you have your mom's DNA, and because your mom is stupid in maths and you're stupid in maths, and that's it. And that onwards, every time you go for a maths class, arithmetic class, you have already programmed yourself that you're stupid. You're not stupid, but you've programmed yourself. And what we have done in our life is we have allowed a lot of people to program us. And that's how we have programmed our reticular activation system. Now, who programmed you? Who programmed you? Your friends have programmed you. Your teachers have programmed you. Your uh, parents have programmed you. Your upbringing, your culture, your race, the newspaper has programmed you. So this is what has happened. See, what you need to understand is that within every DNA, our cell listens. And when it listens to the word and thought, and when you say, I am stupid, I am broke, I'm good for nothing, I'm unlucky, I'm always sick, I'm always in debt, everyone goes in and becomes a program and it starts manifesting your life. And you need to change that. And I want to show you a video, and I want to watch the video because this video clearly explains to you how this is the video of a gentleman who was told that because he met an accident, he was told that you will be a vegetable for the rest of your life because you met an accident. This is on the YouTube. It's by Morris Goodman. It's called The Miracle Man. Let's watch the video and you will get the picture.
Well, my story begins on March 10, 1981. It really changed my whole life. It was a day I'll never forget. I crashed an airplane. I ended up in the hospital completely paralyzed. My spinal cord was crushed. I broke the first and second cervical vertebrae. My swallowing reflex was destroyed. I couldn't eat or drink. My diaphragm was destroyed. I couldn't breathe. All I could do was blink my eyes. The doctor, of course, said all my life I'd be a vegetable. All I'd do is blink my eyes the rest of my life. That's the picture they saw of me, but it didn't matter what they thought. The main thing was what I thought. I pictured myself being a normal person again, walking out of that hospital. The only thing I had to work with in the hospital was my mind. As long as you have your mind, you can put things back together again. I was hooked to a respirator, and they said I'd never breathe on my own again because my diaphragm was destroyed. But this little voice kept saying to me, breathe deep, breathe deep. Finally, I was weaned from it. They were at a loss for an explanation. See, I could not afford to allow anything to come in my mind that would distract me from my goal and from my vision. Well, I set a goal to walk out of the hospital on Christmas. That was my goal. Months later, I walked out of the hospital on my own 2 feet. They said it couldn't be done. That's a day I will never forget. For people that are sitting out there right now watching this program that are hurting, if I wanted to sum up my life and sum up for people what they can do in life, I would sum it up this way in 6 words. Man becomes what he thinks about.
Now, if you watch the video, there are many things you could have learned from the video. And what basically Morris Goodman did was that he was hospitalized. The doctors did say that he was going to be a vegetable for the rest of his life. He can't walk. But he says it does not matter what people think. What matters is what I think. And remember, we talked about our body has got 75 trillion cells, and every cell listens to your words, your thoughts, and feelings. What Morris Goodman did was he said, number one, man becomes what he thinks about. Number two, he says, I'm going to walk out of this hospital by Christmas. And he started to visualize it, and he started to affirm it, and he walked out of the hospital. And that's what we're going to cover in Module 4, where I will teach you how to use this 3-step formula to deliberately attract what you want in life. Thank you.